Hello, I'm Carlos Scott, Assistant Principal at DeLand High School.
And I'm Alicia Douglas, Assistant Principal at DeLand High School.
Ms. Douglas and I have been charged with providing you adequate training on collaborative partnering and shared decision making, both in which you do on a daily basis when communicating with other teachers, parents, students, and administrators, and also stakeholders within our community. You know, sometimes we do things as leaders without recognizing how what we do and have done correlates to identified best practices which allow for student growth and achievement.
Educating students entails various intricate components. Many times, creating programs and support services requires a wide range of knowledge, best practices, resources, and feasibility. Now, more than ever, data drives changes and identifies the needs of our students and the needs of our schools. We must often change instructional practices and strategies to address those concerns. Shared decision-making provides an opportunity for invested parties to help evaluate school needs and improve instructional programs.
As I said before, we communicate with different stakeholders on a daily basis, which is an example of collaborative partnering. You may ask, if we practice collaborative partnering with stakeholders already, Mr. Scott, then why provide this training? The purpose of this training is to make you aware of what you do and to fine-tune how you do it. I know you want to ask, then really, what is collaborative partnering? Collaborative partnering is the process of educational stakeholders working together to realize and achieve shared goals for school improvement and student success. Examples of stakeholders would include students, parents, teachers, counselors, administrators, business partners, and community leaders. The axiom that two heads are better than one really is true when it comes to strengthening children and families in a holistic way. Collaborative partnering involves stakeholders coming together to build relationships that would ultimately allow for communication, understanding, and consensus when making decisions. The decisions made should focus on shared goals for school improvement. What is school improvement? School improvement is the process by which representatives of all stakeholders of a school community meet to examine what is happening at the school, decide what problems need to be addressed, research best ways to solve the problems, create an action plan, monitor progress, and evaluate the success of the plan. Now that you know what collaborative partnering is and how it affects the school improvement process, I want to give you details about how collaborative efforts get started. Again, collaborative efforts involve all stakeholders coming together to make decisions about school improvement. The Department of Children and Families wrote that by thinking, planning, and working together, the individuals and groups that make a community can accomplish goals that neither could be achieved alone. Again, collaborative partnering involves all stakeholders thinking, planning, and working together to achieve identified goals. This next slide gives examples of collaborative partnerships within our school community and our district. Some examples of collaborative partnerships within our school community and our school district are our school advisory council, our leadership team, our teacher advisory council, and our district advisory council. Now that you know what collaborative partnering is and how it affects the school improvement process, I want to give you details about how collaborative efforts get started. Again, collaborative efforts involves all stakeholders coming together to make decisions about school improvement. Each member should be a good listener. Strategies to use in being a good listener would include taking in the whole message, not just the words, sustaining attention over time, and listening to your words before you speak. Another strategy would be to encourage everyone to participate. In doing so, you should consider others' feelings, Pay careful attention to the opinion of an individual or a minority group and ask questions. And the final strategy is to celebrate often. When celebrating one's accomplishments, you should remember to thank people and also by inviting stakeholders to school events. Collaborative partnering involves all stakeholders coming together to build relationships that will allow for effective communication. By communicating individual ideas, concerns, and opinions, all stakeholders begin to set the stage for shared decision making. Collaborative partnering involves all stakeholders working together to realize and achieve shared goals for student improvement. Next, Ms. Douglas will share with you important information about shared decision making and how the decisions we make as stakeholders should center around school improvement and student success.
Our partners are invaluable to students and school success. Together, we can use data to identify individual and school needs. The purpose of shared decision making is to improve student learning through both the instructional program and support services. Shared decision making promotes the school's vision, increases staff commitment, improves school effectiveness, and increases student learning. When is shared decision making used? Parent conferences, behavior leadership meetings, grade level and/or department meetings, school advisory council meetings, problem-solving team meetings. Topics requiring shared decision making include addressing school needs through data analysis, providing the most effective tutoring sessions, implementing the Volusia Proficiency Model, organizing a school-wide literacy fair, increasing family involvement, or allocating A+ funding. There are all different ways that we will incorporate shared decision making. When stakeholders come together to formulate decisions, it's important that guidelines are established and utilized. This will maximize our time spent in achieving our goals. What guidelines should be used? Start small. Agree on specifics. State the procedures, roles, and expectations. Allow everyone to participate. Try and build trust and support from all members. Not all ideas can or will be utilized. However, the decisions made should be in the best interest of our students. How can we make sure small groups share in the decision making? We have to respectfully listen to everyone's point of view. Include ideas from everyone if it's possible. Make sure to take into account research, discussion, and program evaluation. Try and obtain support from the school community. Work towards a consensus. A consensus is when a group of people work cooperatively to make a decision they can support. Can the school administrator make the final decision if the group cannot come to a consensus? Yes, they can. But it's best for the administrator to make an interim decision while the group continues to work out a consensus decision. Remember that we each have our own unique strengths. Through collaborative partnering and shared decision making, individual strengths become united and provides a stronger foundation of support. With collaborative partnering and shared decision making, our schools will address needs of the school, involve stakeholders, utilize resources efficiently, create and support instructional programs, and most importantly, increase student achievement. For more information on shared decision making, please use this list of websites included in your handouts.
Ms. Douglas and I would like to thank you for taking the time to view this video on collaborative partnering and shared decision making. As I said before, this is something that you do on a daily basis when communicating with parents, students, colleagues, counselors, and administrators. It's taking what you do and putting a name to it. Again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this video.